panelists, our attendees online and in person. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And thank you so much, especially to our panelists up front. For those of us who are observing, if you don't know them yet, I'd be surprised if you don't. But we do have 4 of our top agents here, executive realtors, each one of them highly talented, highly skilled at digital marketing, CRMs, social media. Not all of them use Lofty. Some of them do, some of them don't, but they all have different tactics, similar tactics, and they're using similar tools. But each of them achieve success through different methods. And that's what we want to get into today. Our goal is to let them discuss and learn from each other. And hopefully we all learn from them, also learning and discussing. But we have Lindsey, Dalla, and Becky Billeci both here of the Tampa Bay duo, wonderful team. I've got Angie Alstott next of the A team as well. And then we have Jade all the way on the right. Each of these people are executive agents, which means they're at the top of their game. So we're going to kick it off here and kind of let them dive into it. First things first, though, we'll start with a real simple question to give us orientation before we dive in and move forward. And I guess the easiest way to start, and for whoever would like to take it off, I guess our first question that would be good would just be to start with, what does your day-to-day SOP, standard operating procedure, if you hear that, standard operating procedure, what is your standard operating procedure with Lofty, with CRMs? What does your day-to-day look like?
Right. Normally I get up, everything's time blocked in my day, so I just get up and obviously my phone probably goes out 15 minutes every night. So then I check that. By the time I drop my son off and I come back, I get on my computer and I run down the list of everything that it's gone off during the night and my emails, and then I go on to lead generation and social media posting and so on and so on. So it's just like every single day, I do the same thing. Unless I have an appointment, then it gets pushed back, but I catch up when I get back. So pretty easy.
Pretty similar time block, of course. That's essential, I think, in this business to stay on top of things. When it comes to my actual CRM, different days I check in different things on my CRM. So one day, like Mondays, are quick open house follow up. So on Mondays, I'll go in and check everyone that's tagged open house in my CRM and follow up with those leads that I put in before. And I'll input the new leads from the last weekend for open houses. Then on Tuesdays, I do more seller follow up. So I go through my active sellers. Then I also do potential sellers that are in my CRM. So I have them tagged as potential sellers. So I'll look those up on Tuesdays. Then Wednesdays are more of a buyer follow-up. Anyone tagged buyer or potential buyer, I will check into. Thursday is more of a kind of a follow-up in general of anything else that maybe didn't get done the other days of the week, along with different things like past client check-ins. Those get done, and I easily just search my CRM for the tag that says past client and then go through and touch base with them. So I'm staying top of mind with those past clients and asking for referrals. Checking to see who's opened my emails is another thing that I do daily on my CRM. I also do it on the MLS because I have MLS auto emails. So the MLS is kind of used as CRM also. Save that in there. That can be used as well. So I check the MLS every day too. It's on my calendar for every morning. Go through and see who's opened the emails, who's looked at houses, check at what houses they've looked at, send them maybe a text of one that's catching my eye. Maybe the newest one on the market is usually what I'm sending them. Checking who opened my emails in the CRM is really important because that's who's showing interest. Those are who are top of mind. I know like in the Lofty system, it rates people too. So going off those highest rated people would be really essential for my day. That's kind of all of my daily practices with CRM.
And what's a rough time consumption, if I can ask as well, too?
Yeah, it depends on the day. So open house, if I'm inputting stuff, it may take a little bit longer. I may be on there a little bit longer of input new leads into there. I also input any calls and stuff that I got to, so write notes there for sign calls and things like that. So I'm inputting them a couple days a week, and maybe an hour.
Yeah, follow-up's about a half hour to an hour, but you can be on CRM all day long. Mm-hmm. Literally, putting new leads in, and follow-up, setting up campaigns. I mean, we try to get everyone in a campaign, even the open house. We get in the open house in a campaign where they scan the QR code and they come in, but we add them in, so we don't have to go back there and first send everything. All right, set up. They're getting it Monday. Thank you for coming out this weekend. And a follow-up 2 days later, and then we leave them alone a little bit. We don't push them too much. We tell them we're not going to harass them, and they give us no information. But we do set them up on searches if they ask for that.
Absolutely. I would say time blocking is definitely super essential to what we do. We have to make time to make sure we're following up with people that need to be followed up. We can't completely rely on the automation to do it for us. But something that works for us is the text alerts that we get through Realty. So if you're not getting your text alerts, you haven't set up your Realty correctly. You should be getting an alert every single time a new lead comes through. Every single time you get a message, every single time your AI bot says, oh, hey, somebody has a question about this property. Then you, at that point, go and respond as soon as you can. And for us, that's usually all day long. And like you said, sometimes throughout the night, we're getting messages and we're having to respond first thing in the morning. For a touch, like a daily touch on the Realty, I think you can be in there 5-10 minutes in the morning and then move on with the rest of your day and take care of the leads as they come through. And that's perfectly fine. There are times where we would dedicate more time in Realty, and that's when we're leveraging other tools in there, like building landing pages or using the social studio and those kind of things. We will personally time block 3 to 6 hours to set up a landing page and a campaign for a holiday or an upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, my administrative assistant is adding stuff to the CRM all the time too. So she's doing blog posts for me. So those have been really important lately. So I'll write a blog post, I'll send it to her, and then she'll upload it to the CRM so that it's there on our website. It's all integrated there. And just like going through the follow-ups, which I have a big database that follows too.
I love that our first question is about Realty because the whole basis of our relationships come down to Realty. We do not have a business if we do not have Realty or CRM. Or a CRM.
I mean, said no effort.
Yeah, right.
I am resource management.
I was in a Publix parking lot and somebody came up to me because they saw the magnet on the side of my car and was asking for information. If I don't take their information and output it in my CRM, then I don't have that customer to follow and build a relationship with. So the Realty is a tool that we should all be using so that we can continue to build those relationships so that they can turn into.
Fun fact, he didn't come up to her. We chased her down the parking lot.
Yeah, I was terrified. I was like, whoa, fly down there.
And that's true because I've got my QR code on my car and I literally had somebody scan he stopped me, then he texts me as I left and he goes, oh, I like your car. And then he goes, what do you do? He goes, oh, I just followed through with a QR code. Like, I should have done that in the first place. Sorry for the stupid question. I'm like, it wasn't stupid, but I appreciate it. Like, any type of lead generation that you can do, I don't care if it's your car is a different color or you're sending out flyers or you're doing door knockers or whatever. As long as you've got something for them to go back to and you can gather their information, then you're one step ahead. Because if not, you've got nothing to go off of.
Yeah, conversation is wasted if we don't have any contact information to follow up. Same thing with an open house lead. If they walk in the door, you have a great conversation, but you didn't get their phone number, their email address. It's just a waste of your time. And none of us want to be just people that open the door for other people or sit in a house all day in an open house. It's not what we want our job to be. We want to make business out of this. And that's the way to make a business and keep it professional, keep it organized. I know a lot of newer agents, maybe they think they can remember everything because they only have a few clients. Or they think that, they don't really need to write detailed notes because they're just working with a few people. But if your goal in this business is to be working with multiple buyers and multiple sellers, you have to keep detailed notes. You have to have a follow-up plan that doesn't involve you picking up the phone every single day. Additionally, nobody wants us to call them every single day. So we need these other touches in place that the CRM does for us with sending email marketing, sending text updates, the MLS sending emails as well, and these different types of touches so that we're not feeling like we're harassing people, because that's not what any of us are in this for. And we are able to still connect and stay top of mind with people. So the CRMs are really great at keeping us top of mind. Even if they delete all of our emails, right, or never open them, they still see our name, still pops up on their list. I just deleted an email from Oreo. I ordered like custom Oreos one day. So now I'm getting emails from Oreo all the time. And I'm like, let me just unsubscribe. But hey, Oreo's staying top of mind. They don't need to email me. I won't ever forget them. But it just keeps you top of mind, right? It just keeps you in somebody's head, keeps you as the person that they think of for real estate. Zillow, Realtor.com, you go on their sites, they're going to email you all the time. You're going to get all kinds of emails from these big companies. So we have to do the same because that's who we're competing with for attention.
And how are you putting those leads into your lobby? How are you getting them to go from meeting a person to putting them in your lobby?
Most of mine, I'm physically adding in there myself, going to the little plus button and adding clients in, or sending the list to my assistant if I'm being honest.
You do this, yeah. Well, we actually do something a little bit different. I brought a few things to pull out and share. So when we're doing open houses,
They got props.
we are doing little pop-bys where we are adding a QR code on here so that they can scan the QR code, pull up the information, and be entered into Lofty right away. So yes. So I try to theme them if I can. So this one's generic. There is no theme. I can use that any day of the year, anytime I want, because it's not themed. But we do love to do a themed open house treat as well. This is a specific listing of ours. So when you scan the QR code, it takes you to the landing page specific to this listing. So if they came to an open house, they can now take this with them. The picture of the listing is right on the front. Still for sale.
They were rich in this house, so they really wanted to wrench it up. I want to go back to what Angie said. Taking the notes is important. You need to know their dog's name. You need to know their kid's name. You need to stick that into the CRM, whether it's what they do or another living, what they do for a living, how long they've been looking. My first client years ago that I actually sold the house to wasn't my first client I was working with. They came to me from an open house. I talked to them. I actually had a conversation, got to know them. They came back to another open house because they were upset no one was talking to them open houses. And they had working with them wasn't responding to them. So you just have to build that relationship, get to know them. So when you send them a message, don't go, "Are you still looking for a house?" Say, "Oh, how's, Fluffy doing today?" Or, "I heard he had to go to the vet," or something. Just something. Put it out there as one person.
Or whatever notes you observe as well. Because we had an open house just a couple weeks ago. We had 16 groups of people through. And this one family came through and they were all decked out in their softball gear. And so that's a note I'm taking. I'm going to write down what team they're playing for, where did they come from, they live in the area, obviously. And I'm going to write that on my sign-in sheet that they fill out so that when they leave, I can remember that and reference that when I'm speaking with them next time. I even spoke with the daughters and they contributed to win. She said, "We lost one and we won one." And I said, "Count them all. Yeah, you can win this one right here."
Writing sheet is 5.5 by 7. It's on a little clipboard. So when they take that off, it's not left out in the book. We take the back off, write the notes on real quick, stick it in the pocket, and on to the next one because we're going to forget it. Okay? Yeah, it has to be immediate. No time has to be immediate. And I think that's probably one of the big signs and indicators of agents that are doing well and getting repeat business is that type of connection that we're making with our clients and how important that is to us. So it is really essential that those are the types of relationships that we're building, not just, "Do you want to buy this house?" Because that's very superficial and that's not any of our characters. So we wouldn't be able to do that if we wanted to. But just kind of making those connections and writing those detailed notes and then using that in your follow-up, which will really set you apart from the other 5 open houses they went to that day from what the other agents are saying. That's essential.
You guys use the QR code. They have on everything. But
And then
yes, yeah. And you can have them sign in
On your
to
computer.
your iPad and it automatically sends them a text message. And you can go in there and write notes, which is good too, because then you're not having to have papers everywhere, which I realize, it's all over the place, or it gets thrown in the car as I'm going to get my son, and then now it's lost. So if you can have that set up to where you have them on iPad, they put everything in, it automatically sends them a text message for coming by if you want any more information, and then it's already in your CRM. So then also you can add a hashtag to it. So it says, all right, well, it's XYZ property, and then you know exactly what open house they came to. And then you don't have to be like, all right, which one, where did this come from? So once you have those systems down and like in play, you don't have to keep redoing them. Like you just copy paste essentially, and then it becomes super easy. But it's the initial startup time that you have to take in order to get those systems running.
Yeah, and then additionally with that, when you have those tags in there for which open house they came to, when you have another listing in the neighborhood, you can call that list of the people who came into that open house. Or when you're doing an open house in the same type of area or the same type of house, you get more detailed with your hashtags and your tags. If there's a 4-bedroom open house they came into or the price range, and you get super detailed with your CRM, then you can start searching that. And I use that a lot in listing presentations also. So I'm like, I have a buyer list. I have a CRM of this many people. I have 5,000 in my CRM. I have 35,000 in my dialer system. I was like, I have all these people that I'm reaching out to and that I can connect with. And when I list your 4-bedroom house, I'm going to go through my database. I'm going to find everyone who's ever wanted a 4-bedroom house, even if it was 10 years ago. And I'm going to call them and I'm going to reach out to them. And using that as, leverage, it's been really helpful for me at listing appointments too. do we want to take questions or?
a question.
By all means. If anyone has questions, by all means.
Yeah, so how did you learn block? Like QR codes and what was
YouTube is great.
YouTube?
And like trial and error.
Yeah, trial and error.
Yes, because I'm still learning every single day. I do not feel like I have mastered coffee at all. And I run into challenges all the time still using it. But it's just that repetitive use of like working out and building those muscles. You have to continue to
changes constantly.
It does. Yeah,
A lot of updates,
Yeah.
for sure.
which is necessary to help you grow as an agent. So it's not easy. I mean, it is easy, but it's also, you have to learn how to do it. It's like riding a bike. You can't just get on a bike and just do it. You have to learn. Sometimes you have to start with training wheels, and that's part of what we're doing right here, reaching out to people that are using it successfully and having success. So
Yeah, we have an admin day. So on that admin day, we dig into things and work on the campaigns and figure out how to send emails and follow up on this stuff.
yeah.
One of the things that I've noticed in the Lofty follow-up, I guess my question is, I have focused predominantly on texting people from my phone, which is my number, right? But then in Lofty, it comes from a different number, and the text follow-ups, so it doesn't look like things. I guess my question is, how have you navigated that?
Look, have you download the Lofty app? You put the app in your phone, you can choose to text from your phone number. Through Lofty, and everything still stays in Lofty.
Does it still limit like what you can,
I'm sure it does.
characters or whatever? Okay.
Well, I mean, it always limits the characters. Every one of my texts go over that limit, they all go out. You know?
Yeah, it's like 160 characters. They
It's
counted
just
as
telling you,
text
keep
messages.
it
I'm like,
short.
okay.
That's all it's telling you. Yeah.
Do you have
Would Lofty connect with Google Voice? Or would they be two separate things? You'd have to have two separate numbers in order to.
So are you talking
Use
about
both.
like, are you using Google Voice or the Google number as your, like, your business number?
Yes.
Oh, yes, you can't connect it. Yeah. So on my phone, I pay for the phone, and my Google number is the number that shows up when I call my phone.
Yeah, and so do you have Lofty basic, or do you pay for it per month to have the advanced?
We do pay for advanced features on ours. Yeah.
Okay.
We pay for well, we have a set number. We have a calling plan.
We have the AI assistant that we pay for.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
You have to train it.
You do.
You have to train
You
it.
do.
It's
And
a dog.
sometimes you have to mute it.
Literally. Well, and that's the thing. You have to stay on top of it. AI is not at all perfect by any means, but you have to. As soon as somebody starts talking back to the AI, I'll get a message and it says somebody is ready to have a phone call or book an appointment or whatever. So immediately, I will text them from my number. I still use my personal number because Lofty doesn't always. It's not perfect. So as long as they have my personal number, they can always reach me. But like as soon as it says, okay, somebody's ready to book an appointment, I text them from my phone, I mute AI because I don't want them thinking that like there's any conversation that's
Happening that's not happening.
yeah, that's so I literally had somebody ask, are you a real person? And the AI goes, I'm the AI assistant. They still continue to talk. So don't make it look like it's a person. Make it look like it's working for you. It's your helper, it's your assistant, it's not you. Because as soon as you jump on your phone number, then they're gonna be like, okay, I'm not so like a lot of people get uptight about AI assistants, and as soon as you're like, okay, well, I'm now reaching out to them, they don't feel so bad. They don't like, people have this thing about AI. They don't want to talk to it. So once you have some sort of connection, it leads to that connection, then they feel better. They're not like, okay, this is a real person that's going to waste my time. So if you can follow up, as soon as that AI like catches them, then you're fine. Otherwise it annoys people.
Yeah, ours, we actually changed the name. Ours is called Ash, Becky, and Lindsey AI assistant. They know it's a picture of a robot because it had a real name, and I'm like,
It was confusing some of our leads. And then the issue is you do need to mute it. In most cases, once you start a contract with someone, we feel that way. And I think you agree.
it was
I'm sorry. It was, we were literally signing the contract at the person's house. We hadn't even got to the car and home yet, and it was already texting them again.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
we're
like,
gonna sell your house.
and it's like, didn't I just sign a contract with you? And so you have to maybe pause it and then take over control at that point once you've converted the lead so that you can, you're not confusing your seller or buyer with information that you've already talked about. And because the robot doesn't necessarily know what we talked about and they continue to ask the same question. And
I think like the AI assistant that I have with Real Geeks, my CRM that I use, is very smart. It's really good. I've actually learned some follow-up questions from it. I was like, oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna use that. But I think that is like an advanced level of using your CRM, right? So you don't necessarily have to pay for extra features. You don't have to learn all the higher level stuff. Start with the basics. Start with putting every single person you talk to, everyone, asking them to scan that QR code so you get it automatically done. Getting everyone in your database, getting them labeled, getting them assigned to campaigns. Start with all those basics. If you don't have that done yet, don't even worry about AI. You're just going to stress yourself out. So get all them in there. Start with a follow-up. Get it in your schedule. Start doing it regularly where you go in and you check your CRM daily and you're following up with people so that you really start making progress with it before you start either spending extra money or worrying about an AI assistant. Because if if you're newer and you don't have 100,000 people, to follow up with, then you're going to be fine. You don't need an AI assistant just yet, right? It's better to be personal coming from you so that the AI doesn't make any mistakes on your behalf, because that would be the worst, right?
Until you know how to train it.
Yeah.
Don't use it.
Yeah.
And if you haven't gone in and connected your Zillow, your Realtor, all of your assets that can pull leads in there, do that. Because the minute that you get a listing and all of a sudden you get a homes.com, realtor.com, whatever other platform, and they put their information in, it'll automatically put it in your CRM. So you don't have to do that. You don't have to go, oh, well, I just got an email from homes.com. Let me go put that stuff in. It'll pull all that information in. And then once you get to the AI portion of it, it'll literally send you a text message saying, this person is interested in this. I booked a phone call with them at 12 o'clock. You pick up the phone at 12 o'clock. They're already expecting your phone call. It's done. So, but you have to have the basics.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
integrations, like it's called integrations and Realty, all the integrations set up, right?
Yeah.
Get that.
and the website.
check them frequently because they disappear. They
Yeah.
disconnect. Sometimes you have to reconnect them. Absolutely. What are some of our favorite features that we're using outside of that?
I love the AI assistant on Realties. I think it's been great. It's been great at following up and leads that I'm like, oh, that fell through my cracks, but the AI assistant is there for it. So I really do like that. I like that I could do Google pay-per-click ads through there. That's been really helpful and easy because they're doing all the research on what keywords work and what graphics work and what, text and everything that's working. And I don't have to worry about that. So I like that they offer that too.
Yeah, we use a lot of the social studio on there. It's really great because you can immediately post any listing company-wide directly or schedule them out directly to all of your social media pages at one time. So Yelp, Google, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of them. You can post to them all. And then, and any listing, not just your own listing within the brokerage. That's one of my favorites because you can schedule it, but I really, really love the landing pages. If you're not using the landing pages and building landing pages, you're missing a huge opportunity. And I'm going to pull out a couple more resources I brought here. For mailers that we do, we're very big on giving back and giving little gifts. So every single month we're sending out mailers. This is one we did for January. So the fresh new year, you'll see a QR code. It goes to a landing page that I made directly in Lofty. It shares the New Year's mimosa recipe. Gave them a little dried orange to throw in there. And then it has all of our listings on there. And it's a fresh new year. So you selling your house, you buying a house, whatever it may be. We also did the same things for Valentine's Day, get attached to a home you love, and I just did little paper clips in the shape of a house on here. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy expensive. Again, QR codes, taking them right to Lofty, right to the landing page, where they can get more information about homes that we have listed for sale or areas they might be interested in taking a look at.
Does that have to go in an envelope when you mail?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. These three here with you go in an envelope. This is the one we just did for spring, and it's planting roots one home at a time. We did a little seed paper in the shape of a key. I cut this out myself with a Cricut and print these at home. It's really inexpensive to do. You design it in Canva. But again, we have that QR code driving them back to Lofty so that they're getting information on how to plant the seeds, and then also taking a look at all of the listings that we have available.
I love how simple that is too. It's not like so much text on it like a lot of other agents are sending out.
It doesn't have to be a thematic thing either. We do these for expired listings. Just an expired postcard, no envelope needed, just a stamp right on there. Again, a QR code going right back to our Lofty. We have listings from this postcard. And so something we wanted to do different from last year, we sold 28 transactions last year, a couple were leases, but 28 of them last year. We want to do more this year.
Yeah, so who do you use to in postcards?
So yes, so
Oh, what?
Office Depot, ODP. So if you're not using your ODP membership benefit, you should be using that. You get 20 to 30% off.
Get a huge chunk off.
Yeah.
I lost my card.
Just go to ODP.com or something like that. I'll send the link in the general group chat on WhatsApp with the link that I use. But
It's all pre-order though too.
Yeah.
So you have to put the order in ahead of time. If you go to and have it printed on site, you pay regular prices. So you want to put the order in ahead of time just to pick it up.
It's the rents that also, they'll run like annual sales or quarterly sales, and you can get really good discounts on this.
Yeah, especially if you're doing a huge quantity. Like
How many of those are you sending out?
So for expireds, I send them out every single day. So that depends on how many expireds are within a 25-mile radius of my house every single day. And so depending on what day of the week it is, the 1st, the 30th, and 31st, because my hands hurt those days, because there's so many that expire at the end of the month. But those go out every single day. And then I'm not perfect. I miss a few days, but there's a feature in MLS where you have that radius that alerts you where you could do the past 3 days or gosh forbid, we were on a cruise for 7 days twice. And so we could do the past 7 days too. So you can send them out, weekly, daily. I try to do them daily. It's just easier to do 5 to 10 a day. Yeah, it gets bigger.
Are you seeing return?
Oh yeah. Yep, absolutely. So we have one listed right now, but we had 2, and let me make it clear, it's not an overnight return. Okay, I sent out
Work in progress.
1,000 last year, and we had 2 responses. One of them though is active, and it's an over $1 million property right now. And so that's not a referral lead. That's something we generated ourselves. So I would rather send out 1,000 postcards and only get 2 listings from in a year because it pays.
It's
for
cheaper.
itself. It is
Not spending $200, $300, hundreds of dollars.
Or a percentage of your commission.
Yeah. And then there's also fees that we do. A lot of people do newsletters, which newsletters are really great, but they can be hard if you have a lot of people in your CRM. And we have over 25,000 people in our CRM. So it's really hard to mass email, and then you can, get a little, be cautious because you don't want your email to become spam and not be able to use it. So you've got to send a small amount of emails at a time. But something that we like to do is we like to do holiday cards. And so we sent out this one. This is an AI generated photo with Santa. No, we did not go sit down with Santa. But we had the photo, done with AI, and then on the back, they can scan and get a free letter from Santa. So this is them. There's no place like home. And then it's a gift from us to your family. And then when they scan it, it's a landing page that I built in Lofty, which is kind of hard to navigate that type of landing page because there's only so many you can do. You have to use the templates they give you. So what I did for this is I used a template for a buyer's guide, and you're supposed to give a buyer's guide. I didn't want to give them a buyer's guide. I didn't want it to be a sales pitch. So what we did is we gave them a letter to Santa printout, and then they gave us their information. Now we have them in our CRM. We're able to send that letter, and we're able to nurture them as we would with a letter.
That's cool. You guys keep mentioning landing pages. For those of us who aren't 100% familiar, what are they? How it's like, we just keep saying send them the landing page.
There's several in Lofty. The social studio gives you a landing page. You don't have to go straight to your list. You can post everywhere. And then there's the landing pages Lindsey's talking about. Where someone goes in and does them.
So I'm building a web page. It's an additional web page with a specific link. I can title it whatever I want to title it. It could be titled tampabayduo.com/letters from Santa. And it takes them right to that page. And then I'm generating a QR code, which you can get directly from your Lofty builder as you're building the landing page. And that's what I put into Lofty to drive the lead there.
And they are edible.
Oh, great. Yeah. So you can go back and change it.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're gonna need to get your website up and going first of all. Like, you go and spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever it is these people are charging you. At the end of the day, you need to know how to run your own system, because what if that person says, "All right, I'm done, going out of business"? What are you gonna do? So you need to know your own system first, get all of that up and running, and then start building the pages. Then, learn it. Because if not, then you're just, never mind.
And you're up to great. In other businesses I've done that before. Like I set up a website with this company and then they like took it. And like, I had no idea that was a possible thing. I was like, this is my information. I told you what to do. Like, this is all my company. And then they just took it. It was a different industry, but I was just like shocked. I was like, okay, I learned a hard lesson there. But yeah, making sure that you know your content, make sure that you own your content if you are going to pay anyone else, and using all the free resources that we already have with Lofty and setting that up for you. The landing pages are great for, listings, for featuring listings, for texting that landing page out to clients, when they've come to the open house or they came to a similar open house and you want to send them the listing directly, sending it to them through the CRM is great.
Resources too.
Yeah, it's all branding. And then also like the blogs that we do, they have their own landing pages too. So that helps with SEO, helps with finding us.
And you can integrate those into landing pages too. So we
That's
did
good,
one
yeah.
last year for the fall season. We had recipes, and then we were able to pool multiple of our blogs because you can tag them by theme.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever fell under the category of fall, I also put onto that landing page as well. So we do, like you do the blog.
Pipeline.
Yeah, we do them for the turkey trot. We do them for recipes, whatever we're doing, any beach cleanups, any of the Feeding Tampa Bay events that we're going to. We're writing a blog for these and integrating those into the landing page.
And using those other terms, right? Like turkey trot, using the terms like, whatever else it is that you're using, like company names and things like that will really help our SEO, because when people are searching for other things, they end up finding us and they're like, oh, okay, I want to know about the turkey trot. Oh, see, I think the turkey trot. Okay, awesome. They're going to be our realtors because I like to run.
Yeah, and we learned at that Tom Ferry event that we went to that AI really likes numbers. So when you're writing blogs for your site and when you're writing information, your description, all of that, make sure you're including as many statistics about yourself as you can on there, so that when AI is searching for you and trying to find how many houses did they sell. If you look up Lindsey and Becky or the Tampa Bay Duo, they sold 8.9 million in 2025. It'll get that because it's in our description. And so you want to make sure you're leveraging that.
Absolutely. So it's great for SEO. It's thing.
If you don't know what SEO is, it's kind of like people, that's how the internet takes people to you. So you've got to leverage that, because when somebody goes on Google and you have no SEO or no backlinks or anything like that, you're dead. Like you're just non-existent. So once you get your website up and going, your landing pages, figuring out all your leads, then start to work on your SEO. So write yourself a list, because otherwise you're just going to dive into it and you're never going to pick your head back up. But you can really generate a lot of leads without having to spend a lot of money. Like, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on Zillow leads or anything like that. Set it up right and it'll work for you. You don't have to. I mean, they do great with that, but there's people that are just starting off. They don't have the funds for that. They don't have the availability to go out and spend hundreds of dollars or the time. I personally don't have the time. I went and bought, I don't know how many door hangers last year, and I was like, yep, this summer I'm going to go out and give out 2,500 door hangers. No.
Plan it for winter.
No. I was trying to do it seasonally, but then, dragging Enzo around, it just,
Make him go hang things. So that might
It's go out.
Don't go out. No, it happens to all of us. But yeah, like with so many websites and so many realtors out there, the IDX integration from the MLS, I don't know what IDX stands for, but it's the MLS outsourcing it to all of our other websites and, connecting it together. With that, that's the basics of all of us real estate agents' websites. But if you don't have something more that kind of sets you apart from all those other websites, you just get lost, and there's no way you're going to get any type of search, come up on any type of search when every realtor has those things set up. So making sure that you do have these other things on your website, information about you, your bio on there, information about what you've been doing. And, you could talk yourself up as the greatest realtor ever, and the SEO, search engine optimization, the AI stuff, they don't know the difference, right? They just know what they're reading. Yeah, they just know what they're reading. So if you say you're the best, my mom thinks I'm the best. You could even write it that way, right?
Make sure it's consistent though on each and every. So Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, whatever platform. Make sure that bio and that description is consistent throughout.
Yeah,
because you don't want it to be even your Google business page. Make sure everything's consistent, or else it doesn't know where to pull.
Yeah.
So you have to it's almost like one big loop that you have to create. And then at the end of that circle, that drain, you're literally having people go into your CRM.
Sucking them in the funnel.
Yep, sucking them in the funnel.
So a quick question. So when you say consistent, do you mean the same, like identical word for word, or just generally?
Your bio, certain key points, they do need to be consistent through each and every platform. So if you have it on Lofty and that's your bio, copy paste. Put it on everything.
I would kind of maybe caution against copy paste. I would say yes, try to have as much of the same information as possible, but some websites are built differently where you have different character limits and different things that you're trying to meet. So you should have the same information. I don't think it necessarily has to be copy paste though.
I mean, you can keep it simple by doing it that way, but you can also take your one bio that you wrote about yourself, put it into ChatGPT and say, optimize this for my Zillow profile.
Yeah.
You can optimize this for my Realtor.com, Instagram, YouTube. Like, you're going to want to optimize it for that site, and make sure you tell it to follow the character limits for that site, and then it'll give you pretty much the same thing. But keywords are really important, right? So you want to have those words next to each other that are keyword and SEO searching. People are searching. You don't want AI to move them around thinking it's being creative, and then now it's not a keyword at all. So you want to make sure it stays consistent for sure, but optimized for the site that you're on and what people are looking for there.
Thank you. And then my other question is, each of you has referenced how important having your own website is. Do you each have your own website outside of the platform, or is it?
Yeah. So it's Lofty Base. Yeah, it's the one that I have. Because when you dive into creating your own website, if you know nothing about building websites, WordPress, it's a whole nother monster.
And it can take you days, months, hours.
So your
And
days
one little hiccup on WordPress, whole site's gone. So if you don't know coding, don't do it.
We have
Use your
Lofty.
Lofty site. Yeah.
So we have the Lofty site. Lofty went down for us this
Last
week. Yeah.
We didn't notice it because in GoDaddy, where ours is hosted, we have a secondary page. And it was IDXing all the listings in, and it was doing everything it's supposed to be doing, but it wasn't our page. It was our backup page. So we do have multiple pages. And we pay for I don't pay for anything on that. It's just a website. Yeah.
Yeah, what you want to do is you want your domain name, whatever that is. We're the Tampa Bay Duo. So it's the TampaBayDuo.com. But you want to connect it to Lofty because we have all of those tools in there where we can track, follow up, maintain the leads, tag the leads so we know where they came from. We were talking about this a little bit before we got started about how it's just so easy when everything is just in one place. If we start working on multiple platforms, it can get a little bit complicated. So for us, it just makes sense for our website to go to Lofty. So we use the Lofty page with our domain.
I also use the Mojo Dialer, and it has an integration where you can just click a button and it'll send it directly to my CRM. So all the notes that I have, all the information, it'll send it directly there. I do have to then go and set it up with tags and put it into campaigns and things like that, but that's super helpful. So any integration to get is definitely time saving.
I guess the question is, what are your top lead sources? Are you paying for a bunch of leads? Because we talked a little about lead funnels and what are we paying for. So are you paying for leads? How's that going? All that fun stuff.
We don't pay for it at all.
Yeah, I would caution all new agents, all agents really, to be careful about paying for leads. Does that mean we don't pay for leads? No, we pay for leads. No, we pay for them on the back end with referrals. So we will take referrals, but we're not paying anything up front. We're securing that lead, we're getting the listing, we're selling the house, and we're paying when we sell. $0 of $0 is $0 out of your pocket up front. At the back end, that's what matters. So we do have several sources to get these from, but we pay them on the back end.
Yeah, and you don't need that either. If you're leveraging the tools that we shared with you, the open house gifts, the mailers,
Things from our open houses.
we do get listing. Everybody comes into the sellers come in and say, well, my agent's not doing this for my open house. And then let's meet, let's talk about it. We've gotten so many listings just from our open houses and our presentations in our open houses. There, you don't need to pay for leads. I would really caution against
We
it.
do pay for marketing. We pay for, what do you call it? We pay for homes.com, we pay for Zillow Showcase of certain houses, and we pay for Realtor.com. Those boost our ads, and it's a small monthly fee, and the Zillow Showcases per house we do it, but it's a small monthly fee. But because we have multiple listings, they go out and do them ad, of course, for free for us. They send these huge boosted ads that we used to do through Lofty, it's $20 an ad. It's all done through homes.com now, and we're getting a lot more resources, more leads coming in that are actually looking.
It's like an HOA.
But if you only have one listing,
Yeah, no, really. There's the HOA that works for its residents, and then there's the HOA that takes everything. And paying for leads up front is kind of like the HOA that we don't want. And then there's the HOAs that we pay a small fee, and they do all the outdoor maintenance, and they do everything up below, free cable, free internet.
Yeah.
And those are the HOAs we like, right? And so I would describe those partnerships as the more favorable HOA. And then the leads that you're paying for
they're
up front.
great if you have multiple listings.
Yeah.
If you have one listing, I do think the what's it called, the listing boost in Zillow.
Oh, yeah.
It's like $200 for the entire listing. And it does send stuff out. We did get a lot of leads in that way through those as well. We don't do those anymore.
I think traditionally when you talk about just paid leads, usually what that's referring to is paying upfront for an actual client that's interested in buying or selling a house to then work with you directly, right? It's paying for one specific lead, multiple, of course, right? That paid type of leads, I think we're all pretty much in agreement that we don't do our business that way. Nothing against it if you
Costs
do,
way
but
too much money.
we've probably all learned the hard way, right? Like it just costs too much money. It's not solid leads. We'd much rather build relationships through other methods than have those types of online leads. The setbacks to them, in my opinion, are when someone fills out a profile online on Zillow, let's say, for example, they submit their information for an agent to be connected with them. They're most likely doing that on multiple sites. They're most likely going on Realtor.com. They're going on my website. They're going on her website. They're going on all these sites and filling out their information. So yes, maybe Zillow gave you that exclusive lead, but that type of client is 80% of the time, maybe even more, filling out a bunch of different things, right? Mainly because they don't know better. Also, there's so much confusion in that industry where I feel like these companies like Zillow are really tricking the consumers by thinking they're connecting them with the actual listing agent when they're not. They're connecting with the buyer's agent who paid Zillow or Realtor.com for that service. So I feel like when you start a relationship off that way, a lot of those leads, they call in and they're like, oh, I thought you were the listing agent. Well, no, I'm a Zillow agent and I paid tons of money for this lead, but sure, just hang up on me right now. Those are the type of scenarios that happen, right? Those are the type of scenarios that happen with the paid leads. And it's just, and I also personally do not want to give any money to Zillow. I do have their app on my phone, we need to know what our consumers are seeing, right? We need to know what the clients are seeing also. But I just don't believe in giving any of my money to them. I think they're working really hard to replace all of us. They're working really hard to push the consumer into making choices.
Everything.
Yeah, into making choices of who their lender should be and who their title company should be and which houses they should buy. I just think that they're pushing and influencing things way too hard and not giving consumers real choices. So I'm not a supporter of them, so I don't want to give them any of my money. The things that we're all doing are more to promote ourselves, right? More marketing, more promotion for ourselves. We're pushing out our website page, not Zillow.com's page. We're pushing out our information, right? Our how we can help people personally with branded content. When you send somebody a landing page from Lofty, they're not going to see another realtor. They're not going to see another lender. They're not going to be redirected here, and there to try to get all their information sourced out of other places. So it's more solid for us. Yeah, it's a better use of our time and our resources. If we get referrals, so another type of, technically a paid lead source would be a referral company. Some of these companies will give you the referral for free. And when you close, you pay a portion to them. You pay them at closing, which is a nice deal, right? They don't make any money unless you make money, which is a much fairer trade, in my opinion, than paying in advance for leads. And those can be good. Like like Becky was saying, right? 0% of 0 is 0, right? If you don't make anything, you don't have any leads. And that could be a great way for newer agents to start building up clientele. Then you get repeat business. You just need to make sure you're following and aware of what their rules are. So if that client wants to resell again 5 years from now, do you still owe that company a referral fee on that one? If that home seller wants to also buy a house, do you have to pay them a referral for that? Make sure you're aware of what that is. Ask any of us, put it in WhatsApp. This company is offering me a referral fee. Does anyone have experience with that? Ask the group, because somebody will probably have experience, so that you can make a good decision on where you want to spend your time and resources. But I think we're all in agreement that Zillow sucks.
I have a question. What are some of the top lead source companies that you guys have used and you find that they're more successful? Pay at the back.
I don't use any of those,
So
but
many of them out there.
I've tried and I have not gotten anything.
I've
Do you
tried
have
with a
any
lot of them.
recommended?
We have Upnest. What is that one? We have whatever, Pine Street. Yeah, no.
Right.
Go register all 100 of them if you want, and by chance you might
What's
get
the one that
somebody
you got the
good.
Clearwater listing from?
We use Clever.
Clever, okay.
So
Clever.
we use Clever, and they've switched their plan up a little bit. So it used to be a 1.5% listing fee. You were stuck at that. But on a $3.6 million house, 1.5% is not too bad.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of high dollar homes looking there. Now they've switched up to, they're offering cash offers, so it's 50% referral fee, not 30. But you set your commission. So you pay less. So with 1.5%, there's still a 30% referral fee.
You have to be careful though, because even those referral programs, they wouldn't let me in for a long time. You have to show that you have transactions before they're gonna allow you to take the leads.
Right.
So I would be,
Clever's one of them.
yes,
I've run into that issue.
yeah,
I
I
signed up for Clever a year ago, and I just got in beginning of the year.
Yeah, I would be very careful as a newer agent to try to be focusing on buying leads or trying to get referrals. I would be pouring all of my energy and effort into Lofty and leveraging the tools that we have, doing the open houses, using the open house favors that are going to drive those leads
Circle
back
back
to my
open
website.
houses. Go out, put flyers in your open houses, knock on the doors if you want to.
Right.
Put the signs out ahead of time.
Yeah, Kimberly mentioned she has like thousands of door hangers that she never put up. Well, maybe slap the QR code for your open house on those, and then just drop 15 of them around the
Or
open house.
offer to pass hers out and put your phone number in the back too.
Can't get out somehow, but I also partnered, so you can get door hangers and partner with a local restaurant, a spa, anything. I did it with a spa, and they were giving out free B12 cards. So I slapped those on the back of it with my card and handed them out. I haven't seen, I didn't hear if they went to the spa or not, but I know that they've been active on my website. So I'm okay with
Yeah,
that.
it's the sweat equity stuff that we're all recommending, rather than spending your actual hard-earned money. It's the sweat equity that's really important in the beginning, and it teaches you so much. It teaches you so much about the industry. It gives you something to post about on Instagram, because nobody's posting, "Oh, I just bought a lead from Zillow." No, nobody wants to see that.
Talk to people.
Yeah.
Talk to people. I don't care if you're in Home Depot. I pick up so many people at Home Depot. I don't know why, but like
They're preparing their house for sale.
that's literally anybody will talk to you in the grocery store, wherever you're going. Just talk to people, because that's the number one way that you're going to build a relationship with. If they don't know you, if you just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, you want to sell your house?" They don't know who you are, what you look like. You could be those stupid spam calls on the phone that blow up your phone all the time. They don't want to talk to people like that. They want to get a connection with somebody. And so that then leads to other people too. So you sell their house, they buy another house, and then 3 years down the road, they'll want to sell another house, but then they're handing you off to all their friends and family. So if you have a good connection with your clients, you really don't have to work that hard. You really don't.
And the leads are better too, right? Like when I go sit down in an expired listing appointment for somebody that doesn't even know me, it's very different than when I get a referral or my family member wants to meet with me about selling. It's just such a simple and easier process when you have a connection with someone already.
Which
rather
I did
than-
that last week, and I
rather
showed
than
up
just cold ones.
wet and a bun on my head.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, it's time. Yeah, or even like over text. I have some friends that it's like they're texting me about what they want to list their house for, and I email them the listing agreement and they sign it, and I never even had to show up, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just
very little stress and referrals from your past clients, like very little. They don't ask, you don't have to, I mean, I
Sell
hate to
yourself.
say it, you don't have to sell yourself.
They've already talked to us.
Yeah, they've done your job for
We
you.
have another $1 million listing coming from that.
Yeah,
We get across the street. They moved. They sold. They signed it.
I have a quick question about the open house gift that you guys do, because I think that's so clever. But do you predominantly do those for your own client? So as a newer agent, we're often been doing open houses for other things.
Yeah.
Would you recommend?
they're not listing specific.
This one
Just that
is.
one.
Just this one.
They were
Okay.
at Grinchmas house. They wanted everything Grinch, so she did that.
I got a little Grinchy. No, see, this is not branding the house. This is branding us, not the house. So I can take this to any listing. I was buying cookies. I was buying little sandwiches. Nobody's eating them. They just go with. I eat the cookies, and I don't want the cookies. I mean, I want them, but I don't eat them. And so I would rather put my money into something like this that I can save and reuse again and again. And what's in here, there's a little sample pack of moving labels. There's a little notebook. There's our business card and a branded pen with our information on it. It's some crinkle paper.
Where are you getting those buckets at?
Amazon, Michael's. We order from Michael's a lot. Michael's has the discount codes that work really well, but Amazon is put a 9-pack there. It's really quick, easy, at my house in 2 days.
And you're bringing like 10 of them to an open house?
I have nine usually, and then I'll put out maybe
Because she
5.
stacks them aside.
I do. Come to my next open house. Saturday. That's what too. But no, the nice thing about something like this is it can be used again and again and again and again. And then we sometimes go off brand and do like the theme ones, like the Valentine's Day one that you'll see there. That Becky picked those up from Costco.
Yeah,
They were in a pack for $9, $12.
$12 for 12.
Yeah, and so there's candy in there. And then we just put our business card on the outside, put the QR code on the outside, made a quick landing page for Valentine's Day and our listing, and it takes them there. So if you want to switch it up, we've done St. Patrick's Day. We have walked neighborhoods and given out little green St. Patrick's Day hats with QR codes in it, and just everybody's walking around. We just said a little green so you don't get pinched. You know how many people laughed at that?
Oh my God,
That was so funny. It was
It's the stupid stuff people love.
Yeah,
It's just the quirky.
right? And so, do we have to knock on their door? Oh, would you like to buy a house? Would you like to? No, I'm not going to do that. I don't want somebody to do that to me. But yeah, I don't want to get pinched on St. Patrick's Day. So I love that. Don't pinch me, pinch. Like, so it's more fun. You're creating a relationship. You're getting your face out there. What I tell everyone is if you're doing the pop buys and you're dropping them at the door, like I didn't pull this one out, but this was for St. Patrick's Day last year. I mean, perfect day last year. And so we dropped these right on their doors. Hung them right on their doors. There's a little seed paper in the shape of an earth in here, and some seeds, and then
I wouldn't do the pot again. That was a pain in the butt.
It was.
A seed packet would be wonderful.
There is one in here. But with that being said, the QR code's there, taking them to the landing page, and it goes right on their door. Are we knocking on their doors? Absolutely not. I don't want you to knock on my door. I'm not going to knock on your door. But if you're outside cussing at your lawnmower, true story, and I'm gonna walk up and say, yeah, mine broke last week too. It really did. And he's like, I'm so sorry. He's apologizing to me for cussing at his lawnmower. I said, no, man, I get it. I went to Facebook Marketplace, try that, but here. And then he was apologizing to me, and we built a relationship that way. And so you're talking to everybody that's outside. Don't just walk by. But you don't necessarily have to knock on every single door unless there's somebody, like I used to be a teacher also, so there were some of my students that all knock on their doors just to touch base with somebody.
I would recommend if they're bringing the garbage can in, come back and circle the garbage can's gone, because sometimes they'll just go.
Oh no.
Yeah. Especially the older, crankier ones.
Yeah.
The great things about those and what I pass out at open houses are like a pink folder. It's a plastic big folder with all my information in it. It's less likely to get thrown away than if you just give them a flyer, right? They're going to hold on to it. So my pink folder, I'll give out at an open house, and then I'll get a listing appointment. I'll go sit down, and they still have my folder there. Like they held on to it. So people are more likely to hold on to things that they see a little bit more value in than just a piece of paper. And that type of thing is something that people are going to hold on to. They're going to talk about, and they're going to remember you.
Has to be usable, or else
It's going straight in the trash.
there's so many things you can do. There's like drink mixes you can give out. You were talking about the B12 vitamin or something like that. There's so much you can give that's so inexpensive and feel and or partnerships, because that was a partnership for you with other
I mean, it's easy and you don't really have to pay for anything besides the little door hanger or the little bag or whatever. Go, and then that's where you build your relationships with external businesses as well. So then now you can put your cards at their front door and then they refer you to everybody. So it's one big circle. Start building it.
I get the restaurants get a drink coupon, free appetizer coupon.
That's free advertising for them. So they'll give them all to you. I had my hair salon. They ordered a whole box of like discount cards for me. They don't carry those normally. I'm like, hey, you want business? I'll hand your cards out for free. The person gets a knowledge of the hair salon. I get, somebody actually looking at the door hanger versus like trash. Free. People like to see stuff.
Yeah, and I think what it boils down to is relationship. You're building that relationship with someone. Like we said, they're more likely going to use something like that. I have kids. You have kids. We all have kids. And so if you're going to drop a bubble on at my house, I'll probably appreciate that a lot more than a flyer.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, hire me. And so just create value for people that you're working.
I think it's interesting how much, although we're here to talk about CRMs and stuff, there's clearly a huge interplay between what you're doing in the digital and then the physical realm. And it seems like everything supports and supplements each other. You want to speak on that in any degree or anything?
Yeah, marketing should be what we call like a 3-point marketing strategy, where you're marketing in print, you're marketing digitally, like on social media, and then that's two separate, social media and digitally. So you want to drive everyone to your website is the goal of the 3-point marketing. So every single marketing piece that you do should drive your lead back to your website. If you have a flyer, it should have a QR code taken to your website. If you're giving away a gift, it should have a QR code. If you're giving away a water bottle, it should have a QR code. Everything should be able to drive your leads right back to your website with as minimal effort as possible. If you just give me the website address like we have right on here, I'm not going to type that in. But if I can scan a QR code right here and go to the website, then I'll do it.
That's exactly why I put it on my car. I drive every day, all day, back and forth. Take Enzo here. And it's like, I drive everywhere.
Yeah, see, I agree with the car thing. Some people don't want to do the car thing. My Jeep got tons of views. People slow down, try to read it, whatever. The QR code was on there as a house. So I was quick and easy. It's a house. I sell houses, But, but the QR code was on there. The color of the Jeep, the black and teal dropped. People drove the lane. Now I got some work to do on the new one. But but it brought people to us, and the QR code is very important.
Yeah, we've had law enforcement officers that came to one of your listings that pointed out your car that said, I've seen your car somewhere.
Yeah. And
So,
they really did huge. You make a simple thing like that, standing out, being different, they're going to be like, oh, it's
They've seen you twice. They've seen you everywhere.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. And I don't know if anyone's not 100% sure on why we're referring to driving the traffic back to your website, but the reason why that's so important is because when they get on our website, then they could put in their data and we have their contact information, right? If they just go on our website or they just look us up on Instagram, we might not have their contact information. And it's so important to collect data, which is why every website and company in the world is trying to collect all of our data. But it's so important to us to be able to follow up, to have that data saved. Does Lottie, you guys do retargeting? Does the website retarget? Yeah. So then the retargeting that comes into place too, like I have on my website also, where once they sign up, it starts tracking them wherever they are and putting out other ads to them to promote you. So retargeting is another way to stay top of mind and get in there without us having to do any actual manual labor. So obviously we have enough manual labor passing these things out, building boxes. Even if you don't have a listing, I say marketplace ads are very huge. You can use anyone in the brokerage, the property ad. Yeah, the property. You have to do it with your personal page. But then they send you a message. Is this house available? Make it interesting enough they want information, but then give them the link to Lofty when they message you. Here, yes it is. Here's more information. Go check it out.
They're referring specifically to Facebook Marketplace. So if you are let's search.
But that brings them back in.
Yeah.
You can check their profile. You can friend them. I friend everybody. Every client I have, I friend on Facebook and Instagram.
Careful about that.
Why though? Okay.
Huh?
Why?
Because
You get creepers.
yeah,
You get,
well, you're getting
and
creeps anyways.
But it's just,
There's a fine line between
Yeah.
my personal life and my business life, and as realtors, we're always on, always on. So I agree with you.
Okay, so mine's not a personal page, but I don't really share a lot of personal.
I have my kids on there. I'm not going to add every single client. Now, if they go out of their way and they send me a friend request, then I'll accept it.
This
But
is where I
if it's somebody
disagree,
I don't know,
because
I won't.
we have our clients. We've listed with them. We're doing social media marketing for them. We want them to share our social media marketing. If you're friends, it hits my group and it hits your group.
Yeah.
So
You're
there's
against
a span out. If I'm friends with Kimberly, it hits my group and her group. So it's getting farther out there.
Yeah.
So
Just make a close friends group, make a small group of your people that you want to share your personal life with and only share with them.
or have
That's
a
what I did.
I have a separate page.
yeah,
I
you can do a business page and a personal page. So,
But you cannot list on marketplace from this.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's true. That's the kicker there. But I do friend everybody.
but you can start a secondary Facebook. I know
Okay.
it sounds crazy, but you really can. And the things that you want to tag in your business or your personal life, you can separate all of that if you want to. I had to do that because a lot of my private life from before real estate was very different. And I had a lot of my family stuff on it. That was the same Facebook I had since Facebook started, essentially. So I had to create another Facebook page because I didn't want the world that I was marketing to now. They don't need to know my family history. They don't need to know, unless they start to really get to know me, they don't need to know every detail of me. Like, but it's also easier to market, like, if you want to put your kids up, you don't have to feel like somebody's always watching you. If you take a day off, you don't have to feel like your clients are going to hate you because you took a day off with your kid. So you can separate your two essentially lives, but also keep them together depending on the situation. So just
I found it much easier to just do a separate friends list. And when I post
Yeah.
some personal stuff, I just do it to my close friends. If you got the little star, if you saw me, then that means I really like you.
yeah.
If not, then I'm worried you might come to my house and steal it. So,
Which is,
yeah.
I've had people literally like message me on Instagram, be like, "Oh, are you here?" This is back when you couldn't shut the location off, and somebody screenshotted my location.
Yeah.
So be very careful, especially when you're sharing your location. If you ever watch my social media, most of the time, I'm not where I just posted I was.
Yeah.
I wait till I leave because unless it's an open house, which I don't post to the huge mass following that I have, but it's one of those things that be careful what you post when you're somewhere. If you're at a park, don't post that you're there right then because you don't know who's around. Like, that's just post it later. Yeah, post it later. Post it when you get in your car and you're leaving.
So if you're talking social media, then so there's one pipeline is building an audience, and then the other, and arguably more important half of that pipeline or process is how do you then breach that gap? How do you get your social media audience to give you money or talk to you? How are you bridging that gap once you've got the audience? Whether or not it uses your CRM, but
Consistency and education and not being too pushy. Like, you want to pull them in, but not like beat them over the head constantly.
I disagree.
I mean, she's very, very consistent with, the videos and stuff like that, but also be different. Like, you don't always, these new reels that everybody's putting out with the big words and this and that, people's attention span is 10 to 15 seconds. If you don't catch their attention, it's out. And do they really want to see you, or do they actually want to see the house? And my honest opinion, if you really want to sell that house, you need to show them the house. They don't want to see 10 to 15 seconds of you walking up to a house and opening a door. Like, okay, cool. Maybe 2 seconds of that. But if you sit there and you bore them, they're done. They're flipping. It's
You don't
like
want
Tinder. Bye.
Very
See
little
ya.
words on your
Yeah.
reels because that you're won't go anywhere algorithm. They don't want words right now. Like a word or two, but not like. I saw some videos that I could. They're not going.
And the follow up needs to be to get that to a conversation where actually get a sale out of it. Needs to be things like sending the landing page for a listing if they're looking at a listing. It needs to be those types of things where we're really being strategic about how we're following up so that we get the contact and we get the lead source, adding them, making sure that they get added to the CRM for constant follow-up, inviting them to things that you have going on, inviting them to the next open house, things like that to try to work towards a conversation. I send people my calendar link, like here's my link. You want to schedule a consultation with me, go on here whenever you want and schedule a meeting. We can talk on the phone, or I can come out and see your house.
Sending via what avenue?
Yeah, like whatever avenue they're connecting with you, right? If they're on Instagram and they're commenting or they're posting or they're liking something, then sending a direct message there on Instagram with whatever information pertains to that.
Inside your CRM, I would say focus mainly on emails. Yeah, almost all of my emails are getting open, people that I've reached out to. So if you go back, not the marketing. So marketing snapshots aren't getting open. They're like some spammy thing happening about you there. But if I send a direct email to them, they're opening them up. So I have like an obscene amount of active leads right now, like 65 active leads. I'm emailing them once a week with a specific email. They're open. They're not calling me. They're not taking my texts. But they're opening that email. They're engaged. So you got to continue it. Yeah, so you can add things with the calendar link and all that in there. So when they're ready, they'll click it.
Is that an email through Lofty or?
Oh, everything goes to Lofty, so it's
email.
registered. I can see it. I even have what's it called? Folio through Google, and it like takes every email for that person and throws it into a folder. So that just kind of keeps everything on the spot.
To kind of go back on social media, I wanted to touch on that a little bit more. I don't think there's one single lead that I've ever converted from social media. Again, I've been licensed for 4 years. I look at social media more as an avenue for branding myself. Who did I convert?
Well, with the social media, so we got a QR code conversion from one of our listings.
Well, anyways, I look at social media as an opportunity for branding myself, an avenue for expressing my personality. I know that you said you didn't really care for the reels, but if I think it's funny and I want to do it, then I'm going to make the reel.
No, that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. But you don't. So everybody's doing the same stuff right now.
Yeah, do something
To be different. That's
But
all
we
I'm saying.
only see that. We only see but we only see that.
got like
That's
yeah,
not. But that's not
thousands
necessarily
of
true.
views
Because
on all of this.
we're all friends with each other. We're all friends with a lot of people in this room.
Yeah.
We're friends with realtors all over the place as we're watching their stuff. We see everyone doing the same thing. The average consumer that's only friends with 1 or 2, 3 realtors, they're not seeing everyone doing the same thing. So I don't think there's anything wrong with copying, making things your style and redoing it again. The only reason why we see that is because we see so much real estate stuff, and that's the world we live in. But our consumers, my mom is only seeing me. She better not be friends with me. But she's not seeing all that stuff, right? So when I do stuff, she like thinks, it's the most amazing thing ever. And most of my clients, people that are really going to be future clients of mine, they're not thinking in the same way. They're thinking Angie's everywhere. She's doing everything in real estate. She's the best ever. She's so creative. And I'm like, yeah, just copy Lindsey. But she doesn't know Lindsey, so it works for me. So yeah, I think to an extent you need to be unique. You need to show yourself and your own personality. But if something connects with you that you see online another agent do, make it your own. Make it how you want it, and be yourself. If you don't like that, don't do it. If you just want to do home tours, whatever it is, but be yourself so that people can connect with you. Because I agree with you. What social media is for is really to promote yourself for social proof, right? Like it's just like she really is a business. She really is a realtor. See, she's doing this, this, and this. It's social proof that you're doing the job and that you could do the job for other people. And it may not be a direct correlation, but there's all these, like when we talked about trying to measure how much business we're getting from our CRM, that's just so broad, right? Same thing with Instagram. Maybe they scan that QR code, but then they also went and looked at you on Instagram, and then they got the proof that, yes, I'm going to call her. And when you say, how did you find out about me? You said, oh, I went to one of your open houses. But really, I cyber stalked you.
It's not. And it's not to make it all real estate. Do community things, do restaurants, do like beach cleanup, put other stuff on there. You should only have about 20%, maybe 30% of real estate, because no one wants to go to your page and see every single house. They want to get to know you. So do things that it's comfortable for you. I got a lot of music stuff on mine. The video of we took kids to the aquarium for the birthday. There's octopus. That people ate that thing up. I'm like, it was just an octopus. And this here I go, spend 30 minutes making a reel. She's got this one camera called wobbly, and it's an octopus. Got 10 times more views than I do. But
You also spend a lot of time putting it all.
yeah,
So,
it's just different, you know.
and they want to, and also like using social media for promoting the Florida lifestyle, right? We're really fortunate, and I don't know, everyone that's here is here for our lifestyle that we have, for our sunshine, and you know, here in the Tampa Bay area for the beaches and things like that. You know, that's what they're here for. So promoting the Florida lifestyle is really important on our social media page. Just recently, I noticed that my views, you could check on Instagram what city is viewing your page the most or viewing your stuff. And just recently, mine went from being like Miami, where I'm from, and Tampa here, to now New York, because I've been promoting so much of the Florida lifestyle and so much of, you know, moving here and relocating. So now the most views I get are from New York.
To go back to what Kimberly said though, is to not be careful not to do too much. Going to this house now, doing this right now. Think of it in this sense. A surgeon doesn't wake up and say, I'm scrubbing my hands, getting the scalpel. They don't go through their day to day telling everybody, oh, I just read about this anatomy, I just did this. And so do we really need to break it down to every second, oh, just put out 3 open house signs? Probably not. But to do the fun reels and keep it to yourself. Her octopus video is doing a lot better than my content. So as long as you're branding yourself,
Yes. The dumbest things that you can post that are not perfect, not professional, people just, they love it.
Yeah.
They love it.
And you can see that we all have like different strategies for how we're doing our social media. And that's so important because people are going to connect with us on different levels for different reasons. And we have to be ourselves on there. If we really don't like something, we should not be doing it. If something's really all about us, if who we are is a grandma taking a wobbly video of an octopus, like that's who we need to be, right? Because people are going to be attracted to that. They're going to be like, oh, this is cool. She's real. You know, she's doing fun stuff. They're going to, you know, they're going to like that. So
So that's why I
important.
just got a lead. Well, he lives in California now, and I started trying to look him up, and I can't figure out where I know him from. Of course, so I used the background check out. But I wasn't going to say the name because we're not supposed to do that. But anyways, I was trying to look him up because he messaged me on Instagram and was like, "Hey, what's your real estate contact information?" I'm like, "Well, it's the same."
Yeah.
But he had a friend that is living here and wants to buy a house in Sarasota. And so somehow, some way, I don't know, I'm guessing he found, I don't know if he follows my other page or what it is, but more recently, I'm starting to get people contact me through Instagram from other states that have friends here. So it's, yeah, I mean, it reaches further out there without having to pay for those ads and stuff that go to California and New York and everything else. So it does help.
And you can send me ads to where your people, like, you can go in and you can do like a marketplace listing and you can find groups, New York, moving to Florida, and you can post the houses in those groups for free. And then you can post your open houses, you can post the listings, so you're getting that reach without paying for an ad directly going to the market.
Yeah, there's a lot of snowbird websites. I didn't think
Post, yeah.
They're kind of hard right now, yeah. So if it's not a public one, they won't post your stuff.
Yeah.
They are snowboards. They're a little snooty.
Yeah, I'll say it.
Does anyone have any questions or anything? We got a hard out at noon, so go right
All
ahead.
right, so when you were talking about listing other things, like real estate, like the aquarium or just in a restaurant, would you add somewhere somehow that you're a realtor?
No,
Or
They should know that by going to your Instagram page.
Yeah.
Never tell someone you're a realtor.
Yeah.
If you respond to if you go on Instagram, you respond to things. Don't say, "Oh, I sell houses." They're gonna look at you. You make a nice comment. They're gonna go, "Who's this person?" They're gonna open your page. They're gonna see you're a realtor. You don't need to tell them.
Any hashtags that maybe you add, like when you're putting certain posts, like for example,
The community
anything
ones,
other
no.
people
Maybe
like
living in
fundraising
Florida,
and
but
like-
not like anything to do with houses.
okay.
I'm pretty sure they're doing away with hashtags.
Yeah,
Yeah, they've cut it down to like you can only do 5 now.
Yeah.
You used to be able to do as many because you wanted as many keywords as you possibly can. So I would be less focused on hashtags and more focused on having a concise, short description on your social media post. But you're like
If you're gonna
you
use a
said,
hashtag, use your own.
yeah. But like
Or
you
just
said,
go in the comment section.
yeah.
Then they don't limit.
Yeah, your page already says you're a realtor, so you don't need to explain that to someone. It's the same way as if you're having a conversation with somebody. If I'm in the grocery store and I'm checking out, somebody's having a conversation with me, I'm probably not going to go out of my way to be like, hi, I'm a realtor, I sell houses right away, unless they ask me. Then I will go out of my way to share that information with them. So I would think of it in that context.
If you've got them engaged enough to look at your stuff and pay attention to it for more than 10 seconds, they're most likely going to go stalk you. That's they're going to look and see exactly what you do, what you're about. Go down and the very bottom. A lot of them will just be like, "Oh, I saw you did this back then." I was like, "That was 3 years ago," but cool. So if you've got them to that point, then they're going to look at your page. You don't want to say.
But I post on Facebook lately more often, and I go to a lot of different events lately. And I just put pictures and a little note on where I was, like when I was at 100. Or a couple of weeks ago, I was at a birthday party in downtown St. Pete, and I ran into the former government Charlie Crist. I took pictures with them, and I posted on Facebook.
Now, did you tag them?
I tagged them, yes.
Yeah, so make sure you tag
So
where
actually,
you're at.
his
If it's at the event, the restaurant, the aquarium, tag them because they're going to reshare your listing. They put a post and they may reshare something else. Yeah, they're going to reshare your post. The aquarium reshared my post. You know, we go to bands, the bands reshare my post.
They reshared your octopus video?
Yeah.
So you always tag the place that you want to add or the person.
Yeah, I've seen it. I know, we all want to look at your octopus video.
Not definitely. Well, I tried to like mute up the kids, but I forgot to do that. So the kids are talking in the background and the music over. So
It's at the Tampa Bay Duo. I find it's great.
Any other questions, my friends? Please.
So my question is, more. I get a lot of leads from the office. Every time they send it based on whatever I request, it's like 500, 1,000 or more. I import everything to CRM and then I get lost because there's so many. And then when I joined the brokerage, I did the same thing. I got all these leads and I imported them. And then am I supposed to go individually and like tag them individually and like sort them out that way? And also, as far as the landing page, I have my, real estate by Lenny, and I got the domain from GoDaddy, so it's there. But I don't think it's set up to the point where I can use it all the way. So for QR codes, I've been putting QR code with my link tree everywhere I go. And it's been going great so far. I'm getting a lot of filled out forms. But I'm not converting everything to CRM. And I'm at a point where I need to start doing everything. So I'm not always doing everything manually on my phone. So I just need some tips on where to start. And I know I think you said just YouTube it. But if there's any other ways where I can go, because right now I think I have closer to maybe 4,000 leads or 5,000 leads.
When you imported them, did you use a spreadsheet? Did you use the spreadsheet that Lofty gives you?
No. So when they get it, yeah.
Yes, spreadsheet, yeah.
Yeah,
but
so
you
you can add a tag on when you upload. You can add a tag. It tells do certain things. You go into Unlock. You can download the spreadsheet. You tell it to do certain things.
Okay.
Make it a buyer. Make it a seller. If you haven't done that, just
Well, we have
an hour a day.
You're gonna
And
have
go
to,
through and just I'm doing
but-
first page today, next page tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go through, check them out, see if they own a home. Look on iMap to find them. Find ways to find them. Get more information on them. If you don't have their address, see if they own a home. If they're renting currently.
Yeah.
If they're in an LLC, they're most likely renting it. So you can target them better.
Yeah,
Right.
I will say that was a loaded question.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that.
I know, I'm how do I break this down? It's
But you
a long
can also re-upload them. So say if you take that same set of leads, you can do the spreadsheet that Lofty gives you, take out the information that you don't need, add the hashtag, add homeowner or whatever it may be, re-upload it and click on merge duplicate leads, and it'll automatically update it all.
What
And then,
spreadsheet are you talking about?
You mean the template?
yeah,
Yeah,
so I
template.
have the template and
Okay.
it helps a lot. It takes a lot of the work out.
Click import. There's going to be a button in the part where you drag and drop the leads.
Yeah.
There's one word in blue that says click here. Click there, and it'll give you an actual template with the instructions too.
So you just upload it to Google Docs, copy paste one spreadsheet. I usually add a line and then I just move the sections to where they need to be on that template and then add what I need to. So I put in my email, homeowner, whatever else.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say I personally do not like to max import leads.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not going to have the biggest return with that. I know because I haven't had an opportunity to build a relationship with that person.
Yeah.
So my strategy is to pull the lead in from another source, whether it be open houses, mailers, meeting in the Publix parking lot, scanning the QR code on the side of my car, whatever it may be. I would rather pull the lead in that way than mass import a bunch of leads that maybe might not be ready to
Now
sell
you
right away.
can target them. So if you're looking like at foreclosure listings or expired listings, you can do a small group and put them into a campaign.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't just like do like a radius of an area because you're getting a bunch of random people.
Yeah.
So if you target it, you can mass input doses and then add them to campaigns and kind of try to build some connection with.
If you want to keep those leads, you are going to have to go back through either one by one and make sure you're tagging them as the type of lead and lead source that they are, or doing what Kimberly said by re-importing and merging the leads together, which would probably make the most sense. It would save you a lot of time. There was another part of your question you had about your website.
Yeah.
And so what I want to ask you is, are you wanting to not use the Lofty page, or are you wanting to use the Lofty page with your domain name?
Yeah.
That
page with it.
Yeah.
Angie can help you with that.
Yeah. So that's a get with Angie. Have him merge those together for you.
I think it is merged.
Sorry.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So then
But I'm
what-
just not using it the way I think I should because I think my lock is not set up the way it should be. So I don't want to,
Do you know how to find the QR code that they're talking about to get people to sign up on their on Lofty? So where rather
Sure, I
than
can
clicking your
find
link
it.
tree and going to some form that you already have generated, it's actually a form on Lofty. So then it'll automatically get imported into Lofty rather than you having to do 2 steps or having
Yeah.
people in separate places.
Yeah.
So instead of using whatever you're currently using, you should check into what the Lofty link is and use that in Linktree. So then they click that, they go to Lofty and they fill out their contact information there.
And you can
For you.
print a specific one for each open house. There's an open house tab. They'll just print that QR code to or law.
Or probably
Yeah.
one for Instagram, right? If you're going to put it on Linktree, you probably have one. And can you change the questions on it? Like to,
yeah.
are you looking to buy, sell, like whatever questions? you want to put on
Absolutely.
it.
So you can build a landing page for whatever type of audience you're trying to capture. And there's already pre-built ones in Lofty for you. There's already a seller landing page. There's already a buyer's page. There's already my listings page. We just go a step further and we're fluffing it up with, planting tips and recipes and other things so that it's not just all real estate, it's more lifestyle and seasonal.
You want them to get lost on your page.
But again, it's the advanced paid version of it.
I don't
Negative.
think so.
Landing pages, you're good to go. You got a separate little tool in there.
But a lot of people don't know how to get to the website from the main CRM. So you have to go
You
up.
gotta go to
menu.
website with landing pages. That's a separate one.
Yeah, when you go into Lofty and it goes to, I can't remember what the headline is.
it's content.
Yeah, and click on that, and then there's a button that literally says landing page. If you go on there, it'll give you pre-templated landing pages you can work with. You can use those and change them, or you can build one from scratch. I've done both, and there's ways to manipulate those to get what you want and the type of content you want to share. I am definitely willing to do a hustle huddle on landing pages and building a landing page together if that's something that you guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So thank you.
And you also, so you don't have a sign-in book at your open house, you have.
We do.
We have a sheet.
We do have a sheet. So absolutely, I've gone back and forth. So I've only been licensed for 4 years, and there was a point in time where I was like, everybody needs to sign it. And then there was a point in time that I was like, I'm not going to ask anybody to sign in. And here's what I've learned: if you don't ask them to sign in, you have no. I would rather ask Kimberly to sign in, and then she say, no, I'm not giving you my information, and okay, oh well, and move on, right?
But then you give them your card.
Yes,
And that's how a lot of people contact me back is I'm not sitting there pushing them.
yeah,
They'll just call me out of the blue and be like, hey, okay,
yeah.
ready to buy. And I'm like, okay.
And then when she leaves my open house, she asked about the paint. She asked about this. She,
Yeah,
her
so
name
the
is this.
sheets actually got questions about the house on. So there's their information. And then there's what did you think about the house, the price, the location. So it's asking, can you please fill this out for our sellers? So sometimes they'll leave their information, sometimes they won't, but it also gives you feedback to share with people. And then it gives you a sheet to write what you do remember about them. And if they give you your phone number, you can find them. If they give you an email address, you can find it. If they give you your name, you can find it.
But then you also have the QR code for the.
QR codes are on all our materials. We do bring our laptop, and we do have, there's an option on Lofty where you can create a landing, like it's already made.
It's an open
For the
house.
open house, like it's an open house sign-in form. It's like, it's very easy to set up their QR code. So if they want to scan the QR code and do it, this is what I found them. They weren't signing in. They were telling me they were signing in. They weren't signing in. So I stay away from that unless I run out of flyers. So then I pull that laptop out and I set it up and oh, sign in right here. And I'm
See a flyer, we ran out, but
Yeah.
there's a full digital
Yeah.
flyer right here.
Yeah. And so I use that as a back pocket tool because we have run out of flyers before. So it's a lot easier to stay in touch that way. So
I do things a little bit differently and I make everyone sign in. If they don't want to sign in, I ask them kindly to leave. I don't feel safe being in a house with someone that's not willing to give me a little bit of information. I do assure them if they don't want me to contact them, I won't. But I feel like it's a real waste of my time. And after a decade of doing open houses consistently, I don't feel any reason to be in a house with someone that won't give me some bit of information. And I also feel like it's a waste of my time as a professional to be there if I'm not getting contacts and getting leads. So I'm very kind about it, but I do stop them at the front door. I use my iPad, just notes to write stuff in so that I could type my notes a little bit easier than writing. I found with sign-in sheets throughout the years, people will start signing in on their own. One person will write just their phone number and not their email, and then everybody starts writing just their phone number, not their email. I've tried the digital sign-ins before. There's some lenders that have some great sites for digital sign-ins. I tried using my CRM directly, and sometimes there's internet issues or things like that. So doing online sign-ins have been a challenge for me throughout the years. Paper sign-ins just haven't gotten me the results. So this has been the best method for me is to stand at the front door with my iPad and tell them my name, give them my card, ask them their information. And if they really don't want to sign in, if they say they just want to walk through the house, I tell them they can make an appointment with the realtor. And that my seller wants their house protected. They want to know who's in their house. If you don't need to contact you, I promise I will not contact you. I'll put DNC, do not call, right here next to your name. And if I don't add them to my CRM or anything. And then that list, I'm also typing my notes throughout my conversation with them. And that's just the way that I felt is best for me personally. But you have to kind of maybe live and learn a little bit to get to that point. And just has to be your personality. You have to be able to make that work. So don't suggest it for everyone, but I think it's definitely another way of doing things here.
It's just not it's professional. That's awesome. Guys, we are running low on time. Can we give a round of applause?